Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Cowcornia World Exploration. We are looking today at the Cowcornia World converted to Minecraft 1.18 Snapshot 21w43a, which is the first snapshot that has blending at the borders, terrain blending, at the very least. The biomes, they still just cut off very sharply. There's a little bit of jagginess at the edge, but that's, kind of not a lot. Anyway, let's go take a look. Oh, you might notice I've got a couple doggies behind me. At some point, we're going to revisit this world, and I'm going to ask for suggestions on what to name them. But that will be in a later stream. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to take a look this way. And we're going to head out toward the borderlands. Not going to go via portal. I got stuff going on there. And let's do this fancy. Oh, let's make it day, actually. And also, let's clear the weather. That'll help. All right, here we go. Time to launch. Ready, and... Can we make it? Just barely. But anyway, we're going to be flying anyway. So we're going to head off south, which I believe is the way to the nearest border. And we have our render distance set out to like 32 right now, very extreme, just so we can get a good view of this stuff. And we're heading out there real fast, really outpacing the chunk loading. We'll let that catch up a little bit. Although this is still old chunks. But we should get to the new ones before very long at all. Anytime now. Now, I was kind of pre-exploring this a little bit. So hopefully these will load quickly. And I'll lower down just a little bit here. Truck going by outside. All right, let's see. Okay. Here is the border, and you can tell by the way we have these ocean biomes here. They are just so sharply divided. But there is one difference in previous excursions out to the border on these converted worlds. We've seen this particular spot here where we had this little, right in the corner here of the old terrain generation, we had this little spike of blocks there, at least apparently going up to a mountain. But over in the new terrain generation, this section here is swarm ocean. So what it does, it just kind of tapers that seabed up to the contours along the edge of the old chunks, and you end up with this. It's almost like that corner of the chunk there just kind of lifted up that seabed and brought it up, and it is smart enough to kind of convert it to plains or what have you. Which kind of makes me wonder. I don't know if it's always plains coming up from an ocean or if it's other terrains as well. We're going to have to take a look. I haven't really looked at that. We're going to have to see what it will do. And it makes me wonder if there are basically parallel ocean biomes and land biomes, and it just goes with whatever one depending on whether the terrain is underwater or above. Let's go on and see what we find here. Now right here, it's basically just, I guess, temperate and cold ocean. What are we on here? Just ocean, not cold ocean. And then over this way, let's put this back on. Deep ocean, lukewarm ocean. And up here, I guess we got the warm ocean and deep ocean. What do we got here? Ocean mushroom fields. That's interesting. But it's like underwater. That is strange. I wonder why. Is it because over here is the deep lukewarm ocean? Did that weather? Is that forcing the land under here to be underwater? There's a shipwreck. Let me come over here. Mushroom fields. Except this is all gravel. Was this supposed to be a little mushroom island that somehow got forced underwater because of the deep lukewarm ocean over here? Interesting. I'm going to actually, let's scoot over here real quick. Middle of the mushroom fields. Make a note of these coordinates. 475, 2603. Maybe I'll come back to this in this snapshot, but without converting. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go ahead and copy that. And I will make a note of that in my file here. One moment. Let's see. Sunken mushroom fields. In the borderlands. Okay. Save that. All right, just making a note of it. So moving on. See what else we can find here. Now up here, kind of interesting. I'm going to put this back on because I want to see if this is desert or beach or what. Warm ocean. It's still saying warm ocean. So I'm wondering, I mean, it's obviously not choosing the overland, the above water biome according to what's it's converting from over here. Over here is windswept hills. Okay. Which is interesting. I guess it's, and then plains. Did we disconnect again? Oh my goodness. Pop over here real quick. Make sure you guys are connecting back up. Okay, it reconnected. I'm watching the stream now to see what it picks up. Yeah, it looks like it's picking up where it left off. So right now, you guys on the stream, you're like 23 seconds behind me. Just so you know. All right. So we're looking at here, warm ocean. Now this over here looks a little different. Maybe it's beach. Or still warm ocean. Still a warm ocean biome. Not a beach. But the terrain has it up above, though. Maybe it's been lifted by this. I don't know. It's odd. Is there any other little sandy islands out there? Because it seems like in the border areas, it just slopes right down. And this seems like it's kind of beyond where that was. Where that reaches, I mean. So it seems like that would be beach, but you know what? I haven't really paid that close attention to it. Now over here we can see that, yeah, this is apparently on the border, but it is going into more of the stony stuff here. Stony shore here. So that may be the actual biome, and then Windswept hills. So stony shore, that would have been, I guess, what would have been there. And then desert over here. Interesting. More motion. Stony shore. More desert. Valley. Rain. More desert. A beach over here. And a river. Right. So the border is actually over here. So we're getting into some areas that were not ocean. So that's not really the transition. Over here, it looks like we're going from Mesa to Windswept Hills, eroded Badlands. So yeah, we've gotten out of the area. Oh, look at this. Look at these. See, this is nice and big. I like this. I like where they've done it. I think I read that they did make some. Maybe it was a previous snapshot where they did enlarge some of the biomes, and I hope it's the desert and the Badlands because they really need to be bigger. Oh, okay. What do we got down here? Is this a cave going down there? It doesn't go that far down, does it? But the thing is, another thing that's been done in this snapshot is that in the old sections of the world, the existing bedrock does get converted into deep slate. While the, oh man, look at that. That is amazing. That is amazing. You could do some stuff with this. Now, obviously this section here looks like it is being drawn down to meet up with the plains down here. And it's kind of interesting how some of the striations there don't quite match. And I'm wondering if that's an artifact of this blending here. Or these sharp walls here looks like it was the original, but these over here might have been just drawn down. And it does get down to the red sand down here, but the one above, stuff above that, I'm wondering if the strata here are kind of compressed. Hard to say. Just trying to compare the two, but maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say if they are or not. That would have to take a bit more careful analysis than what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I'm just curious whether, as it, from whatever distance from, from that, from the chunk edges, from the existing chunk edges, if it just constrains the altitude, or in the case of the oceans, the depth. Let's wait till the chunks load up so we can maybe see the border here. But I'm thinking it's somewhere. Okay, that looks like some definite transition going into the ocean here from the existing terrain generation. But where it's actually blending to, I'm not sure. Let's see what we get. Right here we've got ocean, and there's definitely some kelp down there. Get over here. Ocean, Savannah Plateau. But obviously we're down under the water, so that is definitely being pulled down into the water. And there's the edge there. And here's our Savannah and the Savannah Plateau. So this would be a big plateau here, like that one over there. But it is being drawn down into the ocean here. Dang weather. Let's clear that. I'm thinking of upgrading my processor. Right now I've got, as you can see on the screen there, I've got an i3 10100. But 118 is putting more of a load on things. The i3, it was plenty up to the task when I started with Minecraft like a year or so ago. Actually, just I think, is it about a year? Slightly less than a year? I'm not sure. Anyway, it was basically the winter before the supplies started drying up for GPUs that I put this thing together. And actually, we're just starting to see the impact of those supply issues with the GPUs. And I actually went ahead and got the rest of my system and was running, and went ahead and got one with a CPU that had the built-in, and motherboard that had the built-in graphics, so that I could just go ahead and get started building the thing. And then later on got the 1650 Super once that became available. And then just added that in. And it did make a difference. I was getting just huge frame per second numbers, especially in the nether. Because I was still, partly because I was still playing in a world that was first generated in 1.15, which is, this world was first generated in 1.15. Okay, we're getting to a part here where it's hard to see. Okay, deep ocean. And this is obviously going up into Taiga. Anyway, those are reloading. And frames per second are a lot faster. And let's set this to day as well. All right, so we are deep ocean. Where does that transition? Taiga. So yeah, that's Taiga right down there, in case you hadn't noticed. And yeah, that is how far it has to pull it down. I'm kind of glad to see this, because some of the screenshots that I saw, and here you can make out the edge of it a lot better. screenshots that I saw. Oh, and this, we're going to see how this chunk's in there, because I think these structures are still popping over the edge into the new stuff. But yeah, the screenshots that I saw for was a it was a Bedrock edition beta that had just the bare beginnings of the edge blending, and they were just basically doing it within the space of a chunk. It looked like, which made for some really steep transitions. And it looked like it was just, over space of the chunk, just taking whatever it was generating for that chunk and just scaling it so that it would meet up at the elevation that the old chunk edge was at. I'm glad on this one they appear to be doing it in multiple chunks, and it seems like it does vary. Looks like they're kind of limiting how much elevation change it's going to be doing per chunk. And there goes that weather again. All right. And continuing on, of course, we got the nice little jaggy edges on this ice shelf here. Not sure what's going on with the rendering here, but you can see the chunk grids. I think it's something that Minecraft just does. I've seen it from time to time. Okay, what do we got going over this way? I'd like to see some more sections where we have ocean in the new generation, but land in the old. Because I want to see how they handle that. Oh, and I think we are still suffering from the bug where stuff just doesn't spawn in these things. Because, yeah, we're just not seeing any pillagers spawning at all here. They should be swarming around it, but they're not. And they won't, because they're not being generated. They're not being spawned. I believe if you look at a structure that, where's the edge here? Yeah, so you get into some, okay, there it is. There's the edge. What am I doing? Went way back. Okay. But yeah, if you get, if you happen upon a place on the edge of your old and new terrain generation where they happen to have the same biomes, it gets difficult to tell where that transition is. Now, if you're underground, if you're below y equals 0, at least in this snapshot, everything down there in the old chunks is just going to be deepslate. On down until it reaches the new bedrock. The old bedrock is converted to deepslate. And then when you get to the edge of that, you suddenly break into these sheer walled caves and such. All right, let's let this generate so we can maybe see where the edge is. Are we going further out this way? Are we going that way? Hard to say. It'd be nice if the debug screen would tell you what version the terrain was built in. Biome Builder PV. Mid inland. Interesting. Near inland. Huh. Terrain PV. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Multi-node. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that I really don't know what it is. This kind of looks like it's the border. Not sure. It's hard to say. Yeah, this is difficult to tell. And this is why I have it set to 32. Okay, this is looking like new generation here. So let's see what this transitions do as we go across the water here. Ocean, deep ocean, ocean, deep ocean. Yeah, I don't know. It is hard to say. Let's go over this way a little bit. Wow, where is it? Where is the edge? We lost the edge. Dang it. Losing my edge, guys. Does that look like a transition there? Looks like it could be. But that is clearly new generation. Wow. This is kind of confusing. We're going to continue over this way a bit. See if we can spot where things change. Wow. Now I know it does store in the chunk data like what its current version is, whatever version touched it last, I believe. But it updates that, as you go through. It we're at 5 FPS. We need to fix that. All right, moving on. Let's see what we can find. So does this look like a border here? Got ocean, forest. Okay, yeah, I think this will be our border here. And you can kind of see a little edge there that might be part of it. So we got like ocean and forest here. Okay. Here's our border, and you can kind of see that it looks like the kelp kind of ends there as well. All right, what do we got? Like a little bit of river, swamp, river, forest, swamp, river. Okay, yeah, we definitely got some borderlands here. But it looks like this swamp here may be part of the new generation. Maybe a little touch of swamp there in the new generation that is kind of showing at the top of the ocean there. So yeah, that's going to make for some interesting stuff. I think the transitions are a bit better if it's purely generated in 1.16. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting here because it looks like we have actual forest transitioning into savanna and then forest here. I think this might be the edge here, I think. Because this looks like a new style river here. And over there is obviously the old style. And with a big lake there. Okay. So it looks like we're coming over here. Those look kind of like old style mountains. And it looks like those plains are rising up to meet them. Yeah, we've got an edge here. So what do we got going on here? Okay, we got forest, windswept hills. Again, windswept hills, but it's not doing the snow on the other side. Wonder why. Oh, we got snow here. Let's clear that out of the way. Don't need that. Oh, yeah. Hear that processor whirring. Fan, that is. Okay, that is definitely the old mountains and hills over here. New stuff over this way. Where is the edge? I'm kind of staying in between. Trying to find a discernible edge here. I think we're generally heading north along here, because I think this is the way going up to that woodland mansion. Yeah, it gets difficult when you have similar biomes, because it looks like maybe we're kind of transitioning. The border is kind of running uh, between these ocean biomes here, and they blend together very nicely. And part of it here is that some of the structures that you'll see that hop over the border, excuse me, from one biome to the other, it's not as jarring sometimes because of the terrain blending. All right, we're gonna let things catch up, see if we can make out the border better. Oh, is it over here? Looks like it might be over here. Because that's a pretty sharp line of swamp right there in the ocean. Yeah, this is it. Oh man, we like skipped it over here. How did we lose that? Totally lost that. Well, we're not gonna cry over it. We're just gonna continue on. Man, we're just going through old terrain over there. So here we are, back on track. Yeah, in the oceans it blends really nicely. It blends really well because I mean it's ocean. You know, a lot of it looks about the same. Uh, Here's kind of interesting where we have uh swamp basically going up a hillside. That is like the highest elevation swamp that I have seen. So that's something they're gonna have to work on. Is as the elevation transitions between the old and the new chunks, they're gonna have to figure out how to do um, biome transitions. Speaking of which, I think the border maybe comes back over this way. Because this is, I believe, one of our little borderland thing. So this is flower plains here. So yeah, 'cause we're in a flower plains with an ocean monument in it, which is coming from a river, flower forest, deep ocean. So yeah, that transition is going across a few different things there. And then of course the structure. The structures, as I mentioned in one of my other videos about specifically about these odd border structures, and they're still doing them. They apparently get generated, or at least their locations determined, kind of beforehand, or kind of out beyond the reaches of the generated chunks. And apparently at a level that is according to what is expected in the chunks to be. Wow, this is interesting. All right, let's clear that weather. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't think I've seen the footings of one of these. How far do they just do these monuments? Do they just grow these feet down to whatever terrain is underneath it? It kind of looks like that. Yeah, I think it just extends down to whatever the ocean floor is around them, just to give it feet. So it's not just, suspended on itself as a ledge, like cantilevered or something. Okay, I just never run into that scenario before. I'm assuming that it just does that normally, depending on how the ocean floor is wherever they're generating. I just haven't looked that closely, or haven't looked at that many of them in order to notice that. So I'm guessing that that's what's going on there. But yeah, this is like at whatever depth it was expecting to be generated up here. Roughly, I guess. But before the chunk was actually generated, and then when the new train it does get generated, I guess that time that then gets carved into it, so that it's not intersecting stuff. So that's kind of cool. Now this looks like we've got frames per second way down again. Of course, we're generating stuff, but we're loading stuff in anyway. Yeah, that's way down. All right. Nice normal shipwreck there. And then a big transition up to the mountains here. Let's see what we are in here. Deep cold ocean. And then over into here, where does it switch? Stony Peaks. Yeah, so deep cold ocean, Stony Peaks, and it just shoots up. I wonder, because that kind of looks like it does go up a bit, maybe a bit steeper. Let me come over here for a better vantage point. Compared to, say, the plains over here. I'm going to look at it from the edge, because I'm trying to tell if that is coming up steeper then yeah, that's coming up at a sharper angle than the flower fields and stuff like that. So it looks like they are varying the transition angle depending on depending on which biome you're going into. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Are we? Looks like the border goes over this way, and comes over in here. So we've kind of seen that's kind of an interesting thing, that it does vary the that transition angle, and it makes sense that it would do that. All right, so let's see. We are going to let's go ahead and jump over someplace. Let's see. There was one spot that we were looking at. Let's see. What we want. This is one that came out in the video I did a week or so ago about the odd structures that were generating crossing borders. This was the village that was generating down in this little valley, in this mountainous area, and was basically extending into caves. Now, of course, the terrain generation has all changed. So in this version, in this snapshot, it is just generating floating out on the water. So yeah, this village is just entirely across the border. And going underneath, once our vision clears here, you can see this is just all on these floating islands. Exactly. Little coal underneath there. And yeah, you get these little scattered patches of grass and stuff, which is interesting. Interesting how it does that. I think they may do that for cases where, say a village extends into another biome, so it has little traces of its home biome with it. But yeah, this is certainly weird. In fact, I had thought at one point of actually starting the stream in this village. See, now this here, yeah, that's a difficult path to follow here. I don't know any villagers that can do parkour, so it's going to be interesting to see. Is there anyone over in this section? Are they stuck? Anyone home? Well, they left their shirt. Okay, well, no one's over there. I guess whoever was over there has died for lack of food. All right. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you do still see. So that's something that still they need to work on, is how to handle these structures whose locations were defined by the previous world generation on these converted worlds. And yeah, it's gonna get interesting because this is converted. Let's see, what are the biomes here? This is plains, obviously here, and if you go over this one, cold ocean, deep cold ocean. but it transitions downward. So I'm not sure exactly when it, gets to its deepest depth, but yeah, it goes out there a little ways. So yeah, these guys are just suspended over this deep cold ocean in their little plains village. So stuff like this, if they can take this into consideration when they're doing the elevations on the new terrain, that could work. And it's kind of something they're going to have to do, or they're going to have to move these things, or remove them altogether. That's one possibility. Just take those things and just remove them. So I'd like to see. Oh wow, this is kind of neat. Icebergs on land. So yeah, deep cold ocean up on the hillside. Yeah, I guess they would have a fire there if they got icebergs up on the shore. So this is actually kind of neat. With the ice run up on shore, I wonder how deep it goes. If the icebergs go down deep, or if they get cut off down below the ground. Okay, let's turn this off. We don't need that weather. Let's dig down a little bit and see what we have here. All right, looks like it is dirt underneath. So the iceberg is apparently just on the surface. And in fact, there was grass underneath it, which may be transitioning just to dirt as time goes on. Kind of curious to see if that happens. It doesn't do it immediately, I guess, but this terrain was just kind of just generated, wasn't it? As we came by. Will it change? I don't know. But in any case, we now have this iceberg here overhead, and it looks like it does not extend into the ground. I'm gonna put some light here. But this might be the contour of the ground here. So I'm gonna follow, yeah, because there's the grass there, so it looks like that is following the contour of the ground here. Whoa, we're getting down to water. So we're over to the ocean here, I think. I'm gonna head back over this way, because I do want to find the other side of this. Give us a lot of light here. I'm just curious. See where this ends. Whoops. Yeah, let's come back this way. Another light. Okay, now we're getting to the snow. And here we go. So, yeah, this might be frozen ocean still. But it is doing some snow on some of these things, but not everywhere. That's kind of interesting. But it looks like it lays it on top of the land, so the iceberg doesn't gouge down into the land. So you're not going to have this isn't like the tip of an iceberg that got surrounded by dirt. This is like ice that ran up upon shore. So yeah, had more time, I'd be interested in maybe just knocking all this down, knocking away the ice, and seeing how well the terrain, continues to follow that contour. But from what we saw underground, I'm thinking it does. So yeah, on some of your converted worlds, you may see some of these big ice flows up on shore. That's a cool thing. Very cool. Very cold, actually. Um, so you might have some convenient sources of ice. In this case, right next to that village. So yeah, they can fill up their ice houses and keep their beverages cold in the summer. So I'm thinking this, you know what? We might be up near, I'm thinking the border is going this way. Wow, look at that. We're just surrounded by the cold ocean and the icebergs over here. So I'm thinking that woodland mansion is off this way somewhere. I need the telescope to see. Might be over here. Or over this way. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, here's our dark forest, so it's going to be somewhere in this way. Yeah, there it is. That's what I figured. Yeah, so this is pretty much the northernmost extent of the previous explorations in this world. And again, we can see how that cold ocean just transitions up to all these forests and plains. And is depositing some of these icebergs up on top. And this looks like it's, yeah, now it's over to the land over here. Snowy beach, snowy plains. Yep. So yeah, if you can find yourself a nice deep cold ocean right on the border of your old terrain generation over on the new side, you may find yourself some icebergs up on the shore that you can easily harvest if you're looking to get some ice. I don't know if we'll get blue ice because it looks like it's kind of lopping off the lower end of those icebergs. And that's the other thing. Are icebergs considered structures? Will we see any? Because I haven't noticed any like icebergs going up onto land. Say if we're coming from old ocean to new land, I haven't seen that, and I haven't really seen icebergs on the edge to discern whether they get cut off on the edge or whatever. Right. So let's take a look at a few more of these other little odd structure areas. Let's see. What are some neat ones? Let's see. This was, we looked at it before. It was a snowy village going into jungle, and part of it going into a cave. And now what we have, drum roll. Hello? Load up. Here they come. Okay, there's our snowy village. And that is transitioning into, what do we have? Kind of looks like plains. Maybe a river. Maybe it'll load. Maybe it won't. Okay. Wow, is that going to be going over into Badlands? So yeah, we got snowy plains. River. Which I guess turns into plains when it's up here. But up here, Badlands. Okay. Is it becoming night now? Yeah. Let's get back to day. So yeah, this is a nice little transition. Now the thing is, in like real world Earth, Badlands, out in the American West, they do get winter. They do get snow up on top of the mesas and such. That does happen. Um, so yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see in a Minecraft biome. I mean, stereotypically, in the westerns and stuff, you'll see, it's like all hot and everything, but they do have seasons. And they do get snow up on those mesas. All right, let's see. What else do we have out here? That would be interesting. Let's see. This next one here was a shipwreck that we found out on the plains before in 21w41. This was when I was scouting this stuff out. Let's see where it's putting it now. And it is up on this on the shore here. A little higher than usual. So this is Taiga now. And coming up on the ground, up to onto land. So yeah, there's some taiga trees there. So yeah, you got the ocean transitioning to taiga, and this was deep frozen ocean. And yeah, oh yeah, this is an opportunity to see how they change. Oh, I think we came by here before actually. And come on, weather. And you can see here, it looks like that is kind of weird how that iceberg just kind of transitions into dirt. Does it do it all the way down? I want to see. Ah, okay, yes, I was here. This is where I made the little title card leading into this. That's where I saw this when I was scouting ahead. So I want to see what this does. So it looks like the iceberg is cut off fairly sharply. And then it goes to stone and dirt. But ice down here. And a big ice column. Can't place that. I would need a lantern. I'm going to get a lantern. Because we got to have some light down here. Come on. There we go. Ice. Now you can see it. And we'll, whoops, put one there so you can see a little better as well. The transition here with the stone. And we'll hang another one there. And yeah, now you can see what's going on there. So yeah, it looks like that's at the edge of the biome. It's doing some ice down there. But not up here. Up here it's doing stone and dirt for some reason. That's weird. Over here it does transition into some cold over there. Oh, and looks like there's more like it over here. That is weird. That is so weird that you have all that stone and dirt clinging to the side of the icebergs. Which makes you wonder about the transition. And how look at that over there. And how it will affect, like, say, I wonder if maybe that's what's doing that is maybe some mechanism they had in mind for making like the ends of caves that meet at the world borders here. Um, the chunk generation borders, that is, let's say, old and new, and making those terminations a bit more natural looking, by adding a little bit of noise there. And it's ending up having that effect on the edge of the icebergs. That is weird. All right, let's see. We've got here's another neat one. This one, we had a shipwreck and ocean ruins on the plains, and then another group of ocean ruins a bit further along the border. So we're going to load that in and see what we get. So over here, it actually is an ocean. Is a shipwreck down there. I kind of see a shape down there. Hard to see from here. Let's get the old lanterns and go down. Yep, shipwreck is there. So that's down there. It's kind of floating here. So we're in a river here, going to the biomes. Let's see, and there should be, yeah, there's some drown there, and there should be some ruins in here as well. Yeah, there we go. Ruins up there. But there were some further up the coast here that were like up in the hills that they had generated. But I'm not sure if they'll do it this time. Let's see, where was that one? I couldn't. Yeah, right there, just barely poking up. So it might be up in here. Because they were like embedded in a hillside. It was like pretty crazy. So will they? Dang it, come on now. Clear for me, weather. Will they show up here? I'm trying to remember how far along they were. Happens sometimes when you find a cold, you skip breakfast. Alright, so are those ocean ruins showing up in here at all? Would be cool if they were, but I'm not sure that they are. I was kind of hoping they would. And they're not necessarily going to be down at the surface. Dang, I wish I remembered how far along they were. I know they were a little ways. Sign of them over here. No, those are sheep. Dang, just not seeing them. Yeah. Wow, I was hoping to find those. Oh, now I just keep getting texted with election messages. People trying to get me to vote one way or the other. Well, I will, but that'll be my decision, not yours. All right. All right, let's see what else we can find here. I'm going to go ahead and set the time to day. Dang it, what the heck did I do? Fat fingered the enter key. All right, and let's see where else we can go. Let's see. Here's one. There was a Pillager Outpost that was on some floating islands that looked like it was associated with the old terrain generation. Let's see where it ends up this time. I mean, they can generate anywhere. So, presumably, the new generation will put it, somewhere at the surface. And here it looks like it just put it on the shore. So this is looking a bit more normal. It is again up at a level above the water there, as is the pile of logs. Those were both generated on these little floating islands over some water. In this case, they're up on these big steep sand hills. So the structure underneath them, desert, is being generated according to the biome that they're getting plopped down in. So that's obviously being generated at the time that these chunks are being generated. But it's still at an elevation according to what was expected on here. Or what was expected at the time that the old chunks were being generated. Because I think it is associated with whatever biome was being generated on this time, possibly a cold one. But obviously it's not cold now. I had a few different Pillager Outposts noted. Let me see if any of these, because I was noting them all, because at the time, that was the first time I'd noticed that they were generating without pillagers. Okay, this one was kind of embedded in a hill. Let's see if this is on a more of a transitional thing. Because I'm curious to see what will happen if one of these gets generated like in a mountain. Is it going to carve out that mountainside? In this case, no, it is not in a hill. Judging from the... Dang it, come on. Judging from the ground around the column cage there, I'm going to say that that was generated at an elevation that would have been more natural to whatever terrain was expected here. And it looks like it's whatever was from this side. Maybe a forest extending out over this way. And some hills and such. Let's see, do we have another one? Because I want to see what happens. Let's see. I do want to see what happens when one of these is at a lower elevation than what's being generated in the new terrain. Fascinated by this. Shimmy right over there. This is looking more normal, and that's actually kind of deep into it. So I'm wondering if that one was actually generated as part of the new terrain. Yeah, it's a bit far from the old terrain, so I'm thinking that is purely new. Because I don't think I've seen structures that far from the border that were associated with, the different terrain and from the old part, from the old generation. Dang it! What am I trying to hit a key here so I can get over here? Let's see if there's another one here. More Pillager Outposts. Yeah, at one point I was collecting a bunch of them, coordinates, because it's like, oh, there's no pillagers, no pillagers, no pillagers. I wasn't aware that that was an existing bug yet. I was thinking maybe it was something new, or maybe an artifact of the border terrain generation that somehow being over in the new terrain, the chunks weren't getting flagged for for spawning pillagers. But I found it was doing the same thing in the old chunks. So, even with existing pillager outposts. So then I looked up the bug. All right, where are you? Should be right in front of us. Where are you, pillagers? Or structure, anyway? Okay. So this is one that actually I annotated that it might be normal generation. So the question is whether it's going to generate at all. If it is part of the new terrain generation. Or maybe it's down in this hole. I don't know. That'd be weird if it was like down in a cave. Can pillager outposts generate down in caves? Doesn't look like it. Well, if it was here before, it doesn't look like it is now. Which has got me wondering. Oh, that's a nice little hillside thing. Looks like it was carved in. That one might have been a holdover from the old terrain. It might have been meant for that. Although those, they seem like they adapt to the level, but I'm not certain. Actually didn't make note of where any of those were. That goes down a little ways. All right. So, yeah, not seeing one. All right. So I'm going to assume it's not there. We're going to move on after clearing the weather. All right. Next outpost, and then I want to take a look at a couple other things. And then we might take a dip down. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what terrain the outpost was in on this one. Obviously, we are a bit lower than I was thinking. We're at teleported to level 91. So I guess maybe we were over ocean before. Looks like we're at a transition there. That's right on the shore. So yeah, this was another spot where I'd spotted a pillager outpost. But yeah, again, it might have been farther inland and didn't generate this time. And that appears to be the case. Got a nice little jungle right next to Badlands over here. That's convenient. And right next to a river and some plains, some sugar cane, a lot of sand. You get some resources there. Anyway. Yeah, that looks like definitely a transition there. Pulling down into that. What is that? I guess a bit of swamp. But can't tell if that's an old or new side. That might be the border. So it looks like it's just a little edge of swamp there on the corner there. Have we come this way? Maybe we did. Maybe we did. Anyway, let's see. Another Pillager Outpost, and I think this is going to be the last one, and we'll look at some other things. And then take a dip down below in spectator mode. This one should be another Pillager Outpost, another one that I suspected of being normal generation, so this one might be also far from the border. Yeah, it should have been about here. But it don't look like it's there. Okay. So yeah, some of these were, I think, probably too far over the world generation border. I don't know, which I don't even see where that is. Would that be it? I don't know. Let's get up a little higher. Maybe we can discern this a little bit better. I mean, that looks like a bit of a corner there. But it's hard to say. Yeah, some of these spots it's going to be a bit harder to tell than others. Okay, this looks like it might be the border over here. Yeah, this is where it is. So yeah, we were kind of far from the border there. So, yep, that's just one that did not get generated. Okay. So yeah, there weren't all that many. And they said I think they said some things are going to be a bit rarer. So let's see. Let's see what else we have here. We had, this is one of the first things that I've noticed. An igloo that was on the beach. Let's see where it showed up now. Please. And it looks like it might be in the forest. Which, you know, not that weird. Clear weather. Yep, there it. Oh, whoa. Okay. It is out past the forest. Looks like Stony Shore over here. Yep. Igloo on the Stony Shore. Does it have anything under it? Ah. And it does have a basement. Under the Stony Shore. And of course these guys. Yep. Big old clue right there. Okay. Nice. Okay. Lots of clues as to what to do. Flash post into weakness. Yeah. Cool. Anyway. Back up we go. And actually, let's just fly up. Be quicker. Whee! Here we go. And then we gotta come back down. Alright. So yeah, not just an igloo out on the Stony Shore, but one that's got a basement. Very nice. And there was one more thing. Where are you? I know there was like another igloo that was like in a weird thing. Oh yeah. This one was on a beach by Savannah, of all places. You wouldn't think Georgia would have igloos, but yeah, there it was. Switch back to taking a look at the stream here. Let's see what we have here. Looks like it's just going to be in the plains at this point. Yep, Igloo on the plains. Does this one have a basement too? Don't know. But you know what we are going to find out. Yeah, it's definitely, that definitely looks like new generation there, the way it kind of goes in at an angle. You might have the top of a ravine looking a little bit like that, but not going in at that much of an angle in the old generation. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into spectator mode, and we are going down. And we're going to see what is beneath the surface. Maybe should have gone out of fly mode first, but here we go. All right, we got our usual caves. Let's let those load up. Takes a little bit. Frame per second are way low. Alrighty. Now we have all this cave down here, but hello. Load caves. What's going on here? Why is it not there? That was weird. Okay. So over here on the right side, you can see the caves and ravines and such. I can't zoom in. You can see the caves and ravines and stuff from the old generation. A lot of lava in that lower level. See, there's a ravine out there in the center. Things are still loading in. Over on this side, you can see the new caves. This big geode there. Let's find one that's on the edge so we can kind of see where that transition is. This is odd. There's like one that's way down there. It looks like it's in the new terrain area. That's weird. But here, you can see when old meets new, we're in one of the new caves, and over here is the edge of, actually maybe you can't see that. There, maybe you can see it now. Over here is this big solid wall that marks the edge of the old terrain. In previous snapshots, that were allowing world conversion, it did not fill in anything there, and there would just be bedrock wherever the bottom of it was. And this would just be a big gap leading out to, down to the abyss. But, oh, and it's snowing. That's cool. How is it snowing down here? I don't get that. That is so weird. So we're going to have to turn that weather clear. Okay, apparently it snows down here. I mean, we're kind of inside all the deep slate over here, so I don't know, maybe that confuses it. But yeah, I'm curious how this particular little lava pocket got down here. I see a few along the border there. That's interesting. Which are like down below the edge of the world here. Let's where's the time? Time of the day. Whoa, shoot, sorry about that. Set time of the day so you can kind of see where the caves are a little bit better. But yeah, you can kind of see lining up along the world edge there. You can see up there, there's a couple other little lava pools up there that are kind of protruding into the old terrain generation area, and I'm thinking this geode might as well. So yeah, it looks like this geode is also kind of generating over, or was this? And that's not what it would not be an old one. So yeah, it looks like the geodes are sometimes protruding over into the old generation, so they don't get cut off. So that's interesting. So they've done a few things as far as having some of the new cave structures ending up over here. I'm curious how these little lava lakes, these tiny little lava ponds have been pushed over the edge there. It's interesting. Kind of makes you wonder what's going on, under the hood, as you might say in here. Well, anyway, I think that is about it for today. We'll go ahead and pop that off, and you cannot see me. All right, let's get back up above ground then. All righty, and there I am. Okay. All right, so I think that's going to be it for today. It was kind of interesting seeing how they have been handling the train transition. I had known that they were going to be filling in with deepslate down below the existing chunks, down below Y0. Of course, converting the old bedrock into deepslate and making new bedrock down at the new world bottom. Had not heard about those little lava lakes and geodes and such poking across from the new terrain area. That's kind of neat. And that was interesting to see. They still have issues, obviously, with some of these old structures and how they extend over into the new terrain. You can see there's a village right behind me, a little snowy village that's going over into the plains here, looks like, complete with a little igloo. And it's snow on the roof, even though there's no snow on the ground over there, except around the villages there. But yeah, they still need to work on that. They need to work on the biome blending in general. They may, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Will they be changing the biomes in the neighboring chunks, the newly generated chunks, to match what was on the old side, or have some kind of transitional table where it will, figure out what would be the appropriate transitional biomes as it goes across. And will it be a steep biome transition, as steep as the elevation changes in some cases, or will they kind of extend it farther out and make it a bit more gradual? And it's snowing again. Clear that out. So anyway, those questions remain, and I look forward to finding out what the answers to those will be. But until then, we'll just have to wait and see. We should be getting another snapshot landing in a few days. Unfortunately, my schedule does not allow me to do these little videos until several days after they drop. But I will be taking a look, and maybe I'll do a little short video highlighting a few things if there are interesting things that seem worthwhile. Anyway, until then, see ya. Bye.